HeroesHearth Esports, I don't really know. But that to me seems like if they're going to get that kind of dream situation, that's the place it's going to happen. We'll look at where we're going for Battleground number 2 and figure out if maybe that's kind of what we see there. Medivh doesn't have too many maps that he kind of chokes out of. Maiev also doesn't really. I would say macro maps are the closest thing for Maiev if I fall apart. This is, oh man, I want to call it a macro map, but it's very different. And how the macro kind of functions. Maiev is still very, very lethal here within the 4-man, and Medivh honestly just bends how Braxis functions overall to the point where it's pretty crazy to think what he can do. So I don't think we see the Medivh even risked in this type of situation. Granted, we haven't seen the Medivh risked at all in almost any situation in North America. It's like clockwork.
Arthlon said there's no more Rexar.
Yeah, he said that. Openly admitted no Rexar last week. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Misha's dead.
Nope. No, I'm just going to say I'm still going to hold out hope until after we get through the draft.
Purely based on the fact that we're going to the Braxis?
Look, here's... Before this draft unfolds, I think making a hypothesis on what we might see. This is one of the battlegrounds that I might want to see a return of Lucio for Tomster. It's been one of his better heroes traditionally. This battleground, I think it kind of depends on the first few picks. But if you're looking to sustain, looking to try and really kind of survive in these skirmishes, I feel like Lucio might be it. I don't know why. I just call it a hunch. I've got a few things that I could go down, but it is going to depend draft-wise.
I would like the Karazim. Still, in my opinion, same strength level for Tomster, but provides that kind of choke. Obviously not as good as sustain, but still playmaking potential, just in the kill potential on top of the point. Something like that.
I think it just really helps them if they want to go in. They have that sound barrier. They just have to be careful of interrupts and things like that. The other thing is, with this battleground, we didn't see this hero in the last draft at all, which was surprising. Garrosh. Garrosh on this, in kind of standing on point. He is terrifying. So, saw him go through the entire draft last game. I got a feeling that higher priority this game.
And now I'm just going to throw out my wild if there's a wild cheese here. If it's not Rexar, I'm going with Zarya. That's it.
Oh, I heard Z and I thought Zagara, but Zarya?
I think it's Zarya, if anybody.
If you go against a Jaina, the best way to pick a Zarya is into predictable damage.
Yeah.
If you go into sustained damage, your shields are going to be nigh, right? You're not going to have much energy. But if you go into predictable damage, mage-style damage, if you're going against a Kael'thas, a Jaina, which we've seen a lot of, you just walk right under that. I mean, obviously you got to be careful of potential follow-up CC or anything like that. But if you're looking to pick up that energy, you know,
Can't feel the heat stay off the Zarya, though. That's all I got to say.
I kind of like where we're going. This would, you know, obviously it kind of depends on the draft, but Zarya does sound somewhat appealing.
I mean, it's definitely likely to, you know, be a bit more in the pocket strategy area here on Braxis. Maiev, Medivh. Here comes the Garrosh or the Hanzo. I'm going with Garrosh over Hanzo, honestly.
I'm with you.
Oh my Genji. They consider the mobility between the two back and forth to be higher value than everything else here. But is that really that worth of a trade-off? Interesting here. Bold move.
Wait a minute. Didn't they have a Genji when they went the supportless solo Abathur? Was it?
Yeah, you're... I think so.
I don't think we're going down that route again.
I wouldn't put it past HeroesHearth.
I would. That's the problem, is I wouldn't put it past them. Garrosh, obviously, we talked about where he would lie, but the fact that they're prioritizing the Genji, what are we counting here?
Well, Tyrael is really high incentive right now. Like, normally you would look at this, especially for Ishbu, right? Like, I would top 2, maybe 3 here. No, he's going to go with the Murd. Okay, so this is really interesting. So very much the thought process for HeroesHearth Esports, they're running, I'm guessing it's a 1-3-1. With the Murd and Genji, it's a double backdoor. Both of those can jump over the sidewall over the boss, right? Which is, if anybody doesn't know, the distance of that channel over and top and bottom of the boss, that is a huge, like 5, 6, 7 seconds on rotations that cuts off. If you can jump that, you buy so much when it comes to the rotations between the two back and forth.
Concussion mine as well.
Concussion
Everybody
mine, Genji,
just jumps
Murden,
over.
every one of them does that. Murden was the first of his kind to be higher prioritized on Braxis Hold to get that playstyle. But with that Genji prio and the Murden in that high, it is screaming that this is going to be that 1-3-1 kill potential with that, and then using the back door around the mid-boss to pretty much go no tomorrow. You never know where we are.
It's going to be fun to watch.
It will be.
Ooh. You know who will be getting into the Nexus? I don't think next week, but in 2 weeks, Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Just everybody jump over walls.
Everybody can just, you know, or you could just pick one character, Medivh, and it doesn't matter what else you do.
Everybody goes.
Literally everyone. It's special. It's a good time. Rip in pieces medevac drop shit, the original Portal.
Still love it. Still love it.
Stukov ban coming out, indicating that Malfurion would work really well with that Hanzo Garrosh. Obviously, Malf sitting at the top of the meta, but more importantly, just because that long sustain over a map like this, and Garrosh, the math problem around that armor, being able to dangle around that Malfurion at 33% HP, it feels so, so good, man.
I wonder if No Tomorrow will hit Tassadar again. He gives you strength in that 4-man to give you that clear. Hanzo not great in terms of wave clear, but if they don't go down that route, I kind of wonder if they'll switch up who's going to be on the Hanzo, whether Casanova switches over. Casanova was on the Tassadar last game. But if they go another hero, I kind of really wonder where their wave clear comes from. Garrosh doesn't have great wave clear. Hanzo, you can argue about wave clear all day, but I think in the traditional solo, it's not that great. Level 4, you could get explosive arrow. That's pretty much it.
Ragnaros ban. What am I missing?
I don't know.
I think, man, there's a pick that I feel like I should
Ragnaros.
know. I feel like I can dig deep into the brain of Barthelon here and figure out what it is, if there's anything. Maybe not.
I mean, Ragnaros stalls games out, right?
Yeah.
Molten Core, if you go Lava Wave, it stalls games out. We saw them just end in 11.5 minutes on Dragonshire. It's harder to do against a Ragnaros on Braxis holdout. And he's also a decent solo laner, obviously.
It's one of those, I'm not surprised to see him banned. I just feel like there's got to be more than the generic get rid of the Ragnaros because he can make that game, you know, kind of slow here.
Yeah.
We'll find out, though. Dahaka was that solo lane pick now for No Tomorrow, so HeroesHearth, if they have any kind of exploit over the 1-4, but again, HeroesHearth is not going to run a 1-4 with this composition. I don't think there's any way you see that out of them. It will be more of that kind of rotational gank squad with the Junkrat holding its one lane.
That means, I mean, they're going to need another. So again, the first team I kind of saw do this in a large tournament was the Team 12 at Gold Club. They used a, I think it was the Dahaka. We get Rexar again, and we are going supportless again. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Okay, I was gonna bring it up, but you know, when I was talking to McIntyre, when he was talking about, oh yeah, you know, we worked the strategies last week, you know, with the Rexar or with some of the Abathur coming in, and he was like, the Abathur's no joke, you know, and I was like, I know it's no joke. I mean, have you watched Europe? It's coming out. It's being played a lot of times, multiple times. We see it in other parts of the world too. And he's like, no, it's no joke, and he didn't say we were gonna play this weekend, but you could tell he was like, no, I believe in this thing, man. And he was like, do you believe in it too, type deal?
I said that I wasn't sold on Arthelon saying no. Now, you go back to the point you were making about the rotation. Junkrat and Rexar hold those solo lanes. Rexar has crowd control. Junkrat has some. It's hard to take that lane away from Rexar. Then you look at Genji Muradin. You put the Abathur hat on one of those. That's where your 2-3-man rotation kind of goes.
It's going to be really interesting, too. You know, I don't know how this functions, but if you take the auto attack reset on stun on Misha with Adrenal Overload and then hat Misha, can you actually make her like stun like near
her
eternal?
level 7?
Like, can you do that?
Ooh.
I've never even thought about that, but something that might come to light here. No Tomorrow. Actually,
Dred, you just got me excited, man. I want to go home, like practice me some Abathur Rexar level 7.
I personally, whenever I think of Abathur strategies, oftentimes it revolves around Adrenal Overload. I feel like that talent is severely underestimated on the impact that it provides, because a lot of heroes have really good auto attacks like Stukov, but he just doesn't have the AA speed.
I think it was before, when they ran this before, because it is a supportless composition, you go into the shielding at 1 to provide the healing.
Yeah.
And then at level 4, you go into the persistent, so that if you do cancel it, they have a shield that persists that you get from that symbiote. So
we aren't going to get it. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's literally not possible.
Fun,
when it's a solo Abathur, it's just not happening. Sad days.
Unless they just get wild.
The only way it would get to that point is if there was a hat target, you could make the argument. And that's why I'm saying Misha, with that theory, is the only thing to come up with. Genji, it's pretty good to be able to, you know, throw out the shuriken a little bit more, better kill potential, but most of the time it's not going to outweigh what you see with that shield. At least as the solo support Abathur that BBJ is going to be repping here. We got game number 2, excuse me. Braxis holdout. HeroesHearth is up 1 game over No Tomorrow. Let's get it going.
So this was No Tomorrow's map pick, right?
Yeah, No Tomorrow picked it.
Boy, I bet maybe they were expecting something like this. We're going to see how it plays out. This is just 2 weeks of Rexar play, 3 weeks. I'm trying to remember how many Rexar games we've had. This is more Rexar games in a 2 to 3 week time span than I've seen competitively in a long time.
Yeah, you know, and it seems like it only shows up on Arthelon rosters, and it's not even him playing it every time. Last roster was iDream. It's just, it's wild.
just whenever they go kick at that old school and we get the Rexar Tyrande, I'm going to be a happy person.
I will not be. But I will be happy for you. Can we put it like that?
That's cool. I'm cool with
your
that.
enthusiasm will spark mine for a fraction, and then I'll be sad because I'll be like, but Tyrande is in this game.
Are you surprised that I mean, obviously, they're relying on Hanzo to kind of be most of the wave clear here. I mean, you look at the 4-man, it doesn't really scream a lot of wave clear. So Hanzo has to go into the scatter arrow build. You stack that up, you get the extra damage at level 4. But in terms of the overall clear,
let me first pose. I don't think this laning setup is most optimal for No Tomorrow. They can win both lanes at the same time. Well, not both lanes at the same time. You have one or two options. Rexar is going to be a problem. Abathur doesn't like early game pressure. So you do one or two. You either answer to the Misha by putting somebody in the top half and not winning the bottom as dominantly as you would like. I personally feel like that is probably the safest route. Or you body the bottom half. A 4-into-3-man split push with the Rexar being a problem in the 1-versus-1 doesn't seem that profitable to me. If anything, you might actually lose more than you gain. But a 3-2 split with a mismatch for the Misha lane, she's constantly going to be going back and forth, back and forth. And as long as she's doing that until you hit 10s, you are doing your job against the Rexar composition, because post-10, that's when you bring the fight and you just go, I don't care about your Misha. Your team is, I mean, back in the Hall of Storms.
McIntyre on the flank there with that Abathur hat, putting damage onto Casanova. See if Casanova is willing to commit. We also have Casanova. We got to note that he is on the tier. He's just taking so much poke damage there, Trey.
Yeah, he ate 2 whole hat rotations from Abathur, which that means a long while. Flip over from Jin. Nice root coming out from Tomster. McIntyre looking to join in here. Follow up from Casanova there. Throw down the smite. Knock up onto Ishbu. First blood here for No Tomorrow.
I feel like they overplayed their hand just a little bit there.
Just a smidge.
It feels like they were trying to get in there. Obviously, you know, we also see Murden. You would think that maybe he would go into, you know, his trait build instead, going into that extra Q stacking damage. So that is an indefinitely stacking quest, but difficult.
Casanova out too far up on top. Misha comes in, establishes dominance. What is her power slide's official name? Do we have that? Can we give her one?
Misha Charge.
Is it just Misha Charge? Yeah, but that is the lamest command in the world. Like, can we give her, like, if a cow power slides, what's a bear do? You know what I mean? Not Misha Charge. I can tell you that. Tweet us with the hashtag HGC and let me know what Misha's Charge name is, because I personally adore what you guys have to say when it comes to these spells.
But I really want to know now. Like, could we single-handedly change the name of a talent for no reason other than just personal interest?
I mean, I don't think we could in the
like
game.
Officially.
Again, we don't have that kind of weight, right? We've already talked about the conversation.
But you know who does? The viewers do.
The official term, I got the, you know, insider insight. It's officially Misha, Charge. That is it.
Misha, Charge as a command, because Misha is a...
You don't say the comma? Oh.
Misha, Charge. I mean, it's pretty much how it sounds when he sends her out.
There's an exclamation point at the end, too, if you need it. Hold up, though. McIntyre joins in there and quickly sends Hanzo right back home. Very good punishment here from HeroesHearth. Look at Equinox, though, coming in with that brush stock. Groundbreaker going to land. No flip. Hitting there for Jin. HeroesHearth still ahead in experience here through this laning mismatch in the top half.
Casanova just... He's having a tough time on this Tyrael.
This game is only going to keep getting worse, J-How. I hate to break it to you. Unless they change the laning situation, this game is only going to keep happening in this manner.
Equinox going to be sniffed out there, and McIntyre goes directly in. Although McIntyre doesn't have mana.
He's got an second Abathur hat, but he didn't actually stop the hat, so he has maybe a shield in a second, but I don't think it's enough to keep him up. It is, and Casanova ends up getting the kills.
Not enough pop there, a little bit out of mana. You know, we saw the progress on that beacon there for HeroesHearth, so they did obtain control for a little bit, getting 56%, but the damage in this top lane has been significant. See Equinox just dodging that stun there, Casanova coming in on the backside.
You see that Murden easily making the rotation to the top half for HeroesHearth whenever they feel like things do get problematic, and that's again with that high priority of having the 3 targets to be able to go over that sidewall, making the rotation to the top half really unappealing. Arthlon with a very good use there of Misha, and then making the rotation up instead of going down to the bottom half and getting body blocked to death. Misha has a stun in a second. If he buys time, he can keep himself alive through this heal. He gets that stun, he gets the hat, and and he stays alive.
I think it's really important to note what we were witnessing there. We actually see a change-up at level 4 going bound by law, but hold on a second. Jin trying to make a play happen here. McIntyre with the swift strike back the other direction.
Equa?
Ooh, Ishbu, nice concussion mine there to save Ishbu. He had no health, no mana at the end of that. Casanova here holding on, but the extra slow, Eldruins gives you extra slow against enemies, so a change up there. But what's not a change up is Animal Husbandry picked up again on the side of Arthalon there on the Rexar. So an indefinite stacking quest as long as you stay alive as that Rexar.
Which, you know, he honestly has gotten a lot of value of every single time he has ended up playing that Rexar. I've kept track of it a little bit, trying to be like, you know, is this talent worth it? Because it hits a point where it gains, it has, you know, almost no kind of diminishing returns. Hold up, though. Ishbu gets flipped over. A Groundbreaker there with a nice follow-up root from Tomster. Abathur Hat's not enough to support it out this time. BBJ not healing it up there for the Murden. We lose ourselves in Ishbu.
He's going to be a lot better post-13 when he actually has healing static in those situations, because right now he's just basically, all right, you get locked down. You hope that your Dwarf Toss out is enough, but it hasn't been thus far. And it's very difficult right now. Crowan's coming over, getting a bit more poke in, but Ishbu's having a tough game so far. Just waiting for that 13.
Casanova's not having a fun time. It's pretty much the I tank these Abathur mines all the way up every single time to get the, you know, information and the reveal there for HeroesHearth. Then he kites back, joins the 4, and then does it all over again. No Tomorrow is holding on until 10 without losing a major objective. They aren't losing massive amounts of percentages. Things are honestly pretty good for them in this game. Normally at this time, you'd be like, oh, here's the 70 to 10%, you know, Rexar is becoming a problem. Experience is heavy in one direction or another. For running, for the most part, other than the Tyrael rotations to the top half, you know, to be able to deal with that 3-2 split, like, I feel like it was a little bit slow and maybe not necessarily the primary target that you want to make those rotations, but they have made the hold off, the pause button that I was hoping to see them have. They're going to be successful against HeroesHearth here.
They're coming in to make the big plays as Dahaka's Brush Stalker down, unable to land the tongue. And again, the control just relented to the top here to Arthalon.
It's not a 1-versus-1 McIntyre necessarily wants. Equinox.
There's the slow again. That slow that keeps coming in from that Eldruins is going to potentially set up a lot of plays. It's put HeroesHearth in a couple of risky situations. This will net them 10. All of a sudden, Casanova
stuck on an island there. A little bit of no man's land. All right, so Heroics. We do get X-Strike. That's the only adjustment for HeroesHearth. No Playmaker here.
So everybody's aware, Rexar has an additional 680 health. So definitely keeping that stacked up. Avatar's been used. BBJ coming in on the clone, trying to make things happen. Here's Jin taking so much damage. Now Ishbu's going to join the fray. He hits the taunt button, does Jin, and right in time because Tranquility out as well. That's going to net another kill onto the Murd.
Very well done here for No Tomorrow, and Tomster is setting up the team there with the not only the Tranquility to keep everybody alive, but then also having that route to set up the kill on a Murd. And no Ishbu, but Zergrush is out. Riptire going to be thrown out from Crowan. It's going to be a slow trek here, you know? I feel like every time we see Riptires like that, it should be he could go all the way.
He's about to have to go and runs out. Now, I was waiting to see if we were going to get this Dreadnought. We've got ourselves a Judgment. Trying to hit that back line is going to be in your face Judgment here. I was just, he was holding it, holding it, holding it. We're getting a little bit of Alex the Pro G style here. Tricked likes to run themselves a little bit of Judgment action.
What do you do when there's no burst healing to, you know, keep the opponents alive? No cleanse available. You just point and click stun, get the blow up, and all in on it. That in mind, let's talk about realistic targets. Post 16, Feign Death from Rhaegar drops it. Abathur should just never be targetable. Murden has Dwarf Toss Avatar to survive. Concussion Mine from Junkrat should keep him away. Swift Strike, Cyber Agility, and X-Strike, all from Hanzo. Ishbu, look at that. He just tanked everything, and he's like, okay.
See if he's got a Dwarf Toss. He gets that armor on his way out. BBJ on the clone, trying to create some chaos, but again, once 13 hits, Ishbu actually just stands there and takes the fight.
Let's battle, boys.
going to be a much different story. We saw McIntyre at the top left of our screen. He ends up having a dip on out of there. There's some of the mines. Of course, we do have the slow on those Abathur mines at level 7 that was picked up. So definitely tough rotations. Here's Ishbu and team. Still no 13, though. There's no way.
Are they going to force? They get flipped over. Knockback. There's going to be the Rue. They go in. There's a Riptire over the wall. A lot of damage after the X-Strike goes in. No more Tomster here for no Tomorrow. HeroesHearth. Very clever combo coming out from them. Arthlon trying to send out Misha on a bit of a quest. Not going to find anybody, but McIntyre will there. Found himself a Casanova.
That slow definitely helped. He unleashed the boars. Jin is in there. He gets the indomitable Misha, not able to get the takedown, but things starting to turn around here for HeroesHearth. The aggression is here. Level 13 finally here. Healing static as well. Oh, by the way, at level 13, Abathur with that spike burst, you get additional healing. Whenever, however many heroes you hit is when you get the healing on that spike burst. So Ishbu, healing static plus that extra damage from that Abathur hat or whoever that might be on. It's going to look a lot different to Haka coming on the back right side.
Yeah, but the Stormbolt's enough of a deterrent. Isolation not going to miss or hit. Dragon Arrow's not going to land. Now Equinox pops the passive, pops the burrow. Now do we see Jin get a good taunt. Tomster drops Tranquility, trying to cut out. No ice block available. He's going to be first to drop.
Still going there. The toss back there on Jin, but the boars are out. It's going to hit Jin. It's going to hit Shrite. They're going to get the blow-ups here, and they're going for more. Shrite does fall. They get the stun over onto Casanova. Gets that Eldruins out, but that is 3 members down. Rexar composition, Dreadnought looking a lot better than last week.
Yeah, it is looking a lot cleaner here against No Tomorrow. 28 seconds out from what is going to be the next beacon opportunity here, Zerg Rush opportunity for HeroesHearth Esports. They have pretty much a free, what, 50, 60% I feel like on this? I don't know, it's time sensitive, and with how long this boss is going to be alive. It's an early boss, and it's only 10 seconds difference. Either way, HeroesHearth has earned themselves a lot of free percentage, and it's up to No Tomorrow to kind of force. No Tomorrow does have a decent amount of clear in the scattering arrow, but that's about all the clear that they have over the next Zerg Rush. And with the Judgment composition, the way you defend is you kind of don't. You just dive past it. And I hate to break it to No Tomorrow, but if that's with the 100% Zerg Rush, it's going to look real ugly.
Here's Dahaka coming in again, right where you see Crow in there. There's the setup. There's the isolation. It's going to hit the taunt, the judgment. It's going to be there. That's going to be the instant blow up onto Genji. Ishbu going to stay in there as the Riptire comes down. Genji the only one to fall, but definitely a moment of daybreak here for No Tomorrow. Looking at, hey, look, we now hit 13. We now find some way to gain some control.
That was the coolest kill I have ever seen, I think, in competitive Heroes of the Storm. A Garrosh groundbreaker flip into a midair contact judgment? That was awesome. You know, a lot of fireworks. I again, meta-wise, don't know if I would promote that to about everybody, but it was still pretty sweet.
New meta. New meta. Either way, 15 to 13 here. You said 50%. They ended up getting 68%, so definitely maximized what time that they had there. I don't think that HeroesHearth expected to do to blow up quite that quickly, but credit to No Tomorrow, who's looking for another fight here. Equinox and team going in. Ishbu kind of holding out. Ishbu sitting also on 33 stacks on his level 1.
Going to use the clone, fight over double Genji here. A lot of damage onto Jin, getting the armor. Big Warlord's challenge, going to lock down 3. Unleash the Boars goes through. Jin able to keep himself alive, but Equinox is the focus here for HeroesHearth. Tranquility coming out. Dragon's Arrow going to land. Casanova moving in with the team, getting the shielding and the healing, and HeroesHearth actually kind of pushed back for a moment.
It's a big win. That Dragon Arrow saved a lot. Misha on that front line did control a lot. You saw Unleash the Boars. That's only going to be worse if he goes the upgrade at 20 because you get the root on it. Abathur the whole time will be able to continue to push the top with those Locusts, but here comes the Brush Stalk again.
Judgment onto Crowin. All the damage there put onto Arthlon, and he's going to be sent back. No animal husbandry value anymore. Rexar finds his first death of the game.
That is a major loss. I mean, at this point, he's probably had, I mean, somebody out there can do the math in terms of time, but it's 2 health per second. And level 4 is picked up very early in this game. We're talking 10 minutes or more of that. McIntyre, though, looking to try and get a kill here. Shrite already used his agility. The
Riptire, the X-Strike, the taunt after. They end up getting the kill there. Not as clean as maybe McIntyre and friends were hoping. Isolation was actually used from Equinox onto Ishbu. Knockback there. Groundbreaker was actually interrupt there from Crowin. There comes the second one. Flip over. Yeah, he's dead. Staggered death after staggered death here from HeroesHearth Esports.
The Dwarf Toss out felt a bit preemptive there. It looks like he might have been able to walk a little bit further than Dwarf Toss to safety. Instead, he gave up quite a bit. No animal husbandry. You can see just an auto attack from Garrosh is enough to chunk through that health bar of Rexar. Misha, however, trying to hold on to point. There's the Abathur hat on it. Here comes Kron to join the fight, though.
Unleash the Boars use. Misha moves up. Jin seems to be the focus. Abathur hat on Misha. She is super Misha at this point. Drag lands into Arth. He does have Feigned Death this time. The taunt goes down. You can expect him to feign, but that is not going to stop this death. It, in fact, is not feigned, Arthalon. It is real.
Yeah, that's going to be a dead Rexar, and the channel's going to be there. The Judgment again. The Abathur hat's going to be there, as is the Dragon Arrow. And he's going to go. All of a sudden, no Tomorrow, lighting it up here.
That was so beautiful, that initiation, no hesitation coming out from Casanova on the Judgment. Dragon Arrow follow-up from Shrite. And now, no Tomorrow. They have found a way to gain so many kills here. Isolation on this invade. They get another one there?
They get another one off the clone as BBJ and McIntyre trying to make big-time plays happen. Tomster uses the Tranquility, but he is still somewhat low. The Abathur Mind's getting the slowdown. There's going to be the Stormbolt coming in there from Murd, and he is a beast at this point. Stacking up, getting the stuns, getting the lockdown. Ishbu just standing on point. See if he gets that healing static value, continuing to heal up. That is another turnaround here. 42 stacks, and I think you get 5 damage. There's one way to use your Abathur.
This rotation was way too slow from BBJ. He actually could have stopped this completely with the kill potential. Maybe he was afraid of the Dahaka who was just now spawning. Jin ends up going down. The chase is going to be here. Casanova has no mana. He's dead. He has maybe 1 Q. Maybe. I mean, let's be real here. Tyrael, mana problems, we know.
Trait value on the Zergwave, though.
I mean, to be honest, that's probably the most effective way to clear a Tyrael, so can't judge. At least he got something out of it.
Well, the back and forth continue. We're looking at 23 total. This has not been a pretty game, but it's supportless composition of Heroes Hearth. A little bit wild, but things definitely heating up here in the late game. The push in up at the top, getting some keep wall damage. There's going to be the drag in. Another stun, another silence, and that's going to be Genji falling. I mean, the deaths keep coming, but I'm not sure what they're amounting to at this point, Trev.
Well, okay, so there's a lot. It's really hard to describe. So Heroes Hearth Esports, I mean, they have a Rexar, Genji, Abathur, right? All 3 of those heroes are going to be off in their own, kind of getting the skirmishing. Abathur's going to come in, get the hat on all those targets. They want to instill chaos. They want to instill 1 versus 1s, 2 versus 2s everywhere, and Abathur will get the out-heal, and the mobility will be too problematic. But No Tomorrow's getting the wins. It's just they aren't getting anything major off of that, because even though they get that one, then they have to worry about somebody elsewhere. Ishbu, a man on an island right now trying to track out, getting a lot of value out of this healing static. Please stop pumping on top of him. Oh my gosh.
BBJ with the clone. Riptire is going to hit multiple members. They get the flip and the toss there onto the clone, take care of that. But they thwart the boss attempt, and Kenji is really good at dealing with, you want to capture this boss. Let me hit deflect when this machine gun comes out. So now it's a little bit scarier for No Tomorrow. Heroes Hearth survives, and Ishbu is just like, I'm unkillable. Good luck.
Yeah, really good job there from Heroes Hearth Esports. Stormbolt goes out. No threat towards those altars coming online yet. But when they do, it's got to be a timer here for No Tomorrow with the race to 20 still being won by Heroes Hearth Esports.
I think they're going to have to concede that. They are, but the drag going to be onto Arthlon. The Judgment, but the Feigned Death is going to land. The Dragon Arrow is going to miss as well. Remember, that is a long timer. Shrite low, but there's going to be the taunt directly onto Arthlon. He's going to fall, but can X-Strike take care of much more? Tranquility doing too much healing here.
Doing way too much survivability there for No Tomorrow. Even with a, I don't want to say sloppy, because it was just a, I believe it wasn't even a cleanse. It was just flat out just Feigned Death came out before, right as the drag ended, and then missing the arrow. And it, you know, it didn't really even impact that fight. Heroes Hearth just pops Tranquility, and they go, okay, well that's, or excuse me, No Tomorrow pops it, and they go, that's a pretty easily won fight here. So when the full 5-on-5 happens, right, that chaos kind of ensues for Heroes Hearth Esports. If they can't get that, it looks really in favor of No Tomorrow.
I feel like we're playing a game of questing at this point. Kroan sitting on 150 stacks on his grenades. Ishbu sitting on 52 stacks on his Stormbolt at level 1.
We needed Prismat in here with the last rights just so we could test out, you know, how close.
27 stacks on Vengeful Roots. Like all these weirdish talents outside of the Junkrat, because it's meta, getting a lot of value. And as this game goes on, their impact is definitely going to be felt.
Riptire kind of zooming around. BBJ goes on into Jay Shrite. Oh my goodness. The scattering arrow got deflected back and ended up getting the kill. That was a clone for nothing on that trade. And now suddenly Heroes Hearth Esports, they're back in this game. They're going to go in.
Tranquility is out. Jin somehow survives. We see Rexar already moved to the bottom. The Judgment's going to be there. The taunt as well. Crowan's going to get blown up. We're going to see a little bit of channel time on the side of HeroesHearth. Does Ishbu try and make a stand here? Let's see. Taunt is down. There goes the healing static. Down goes Avatar. Rexar coming in from the backside. The Boars are out. It's getting the slow. Tomster is hurt.
They're never going to kill Ishbu. They're never going to kill Ishbu if they stand on the healing static. So they swap and focus over onto Arthlon. There goes the feigned death. It's going to be a hot minute till he's back here. Now he comes out. Drag's going to land. A bit of awkward concussion mine. I believe it was that got the
They're still going to get the 100% channel.
They do. And now Zerg Rush over to HeroesHearth Esports. Chaos reigns supreme so far here on Braxis.
Oh, me, oh my.
Do you remember
the time?
Do you remember, what is it, Resurgence? Way back. I don't know if you were around there in that time, even if you weren't. When you could res post 20, right?
Oh, I think we're talking about the team because at one point Equinox was on a team called Resurgence.
I'm talking Resurgence of the Storm, you know, which was so very meta. Hold up, though. Ishbu got flipped over. He has the healing static. Got a little bit of value there. Riptire goes down. 100% Zerg Rush, but no Genji here. So this is where no Tomorrow. Normally, you'd see that Judgment kind of all in play coming out from them. Jin, so low. The concussion mine is there. Crowan with the play, setting up the team. They get the pick they need, and this is likely now going to be this bottom keep. Genji's still trying to, you know, kind of hustle his way over here to join the remainder of HeroesHearth, but when he does, 20 advantage man up. Oh, this is risky for no Tomorrow.
Casanova is low. You can see the isolation used, but the tongue is dodged there. McIntyre now. Casanova getting low. There is no tranquility. This game is almost commentating itself by how much action there is. I mean, this is non-stop bonkers action here. HeroesHearth versus no Tomorrow. This is insane.
A lot of this is how the map unfolds, and then more importantly, the top 3 picks out of HeroesHearth Esports is why this composition has been able to function in the manner it does. Murden, with the chaos, you know, of the single target survivability on point, especially post 13, mixed with the Abathur hat, the Rexar being overly problematic in one half of the lane. It's just everything about it here. So well done here from HeroesHearth Esports. It's definitely showing it's not unbeatable though, right? It has its weaknesses, but it's pretty cool.
It is amazing. I love this. I'm so glad we get to see the Rexar again. Arthlon said, nah, and he comes back this week. It's more like, yeah. And if it's about to pull off this victory, the boss moving forward, keep already low, but they're going to get the toss in. But it's on Ishbu, who already got his Avatar and his Thunderclap out. The Riptire is going to be there. There's the big stun. There's the follow-up damage. Jin surviving as the Tranquility is out. The toss back, keeping them alive somehow, some way, but Jin
able to survive there for a moment.
Misha
ends up living. Judgment goes in now on to McIntyre. Do they have enough damage? No. Switch Strike moves away. Boss now going to make his way onto the core. All 5 members of No Tomorrow are alive, doing their best to try and hold this off. No support composition coming out here from HeroesHearth Esports.
It's somehow doing it as the core is down to 30%. Rexar, Abathur, yes, on the same team, have taken this. Try me once, doesn't work. Tell us you're not going to run it again. Okay, I'll believe you until I see it again. And Rexar, Arthalon, HeroesHearth and team just come out. That's a game, ladies and gentlemen. Junkrat, 125,000 damage that game. Just grenade after grenade after grenade. The amount of stacking that we saw, I mean, I just got to look at this because Muradin, 60,000 damage, just tossing out those Storm Bolts, ended up with like 60 stacks or something like that. These are games you don't normally get the pleasure of seeing. It might look a little bit wild, but I tell you what, sometimes you embrace the chaos. In HeroesHearth, I fully embrace it.
And for anybody wondering, why does that happen with that composition of those playstyles? I think one of the most famous games that all of competitive Heroes histories has ever played, was the Abathur composition that Cloud9 played against, not Ballistics at the time. What am I thinking of? TNL, I think was their name, way back at BlizzCon. And when they busted out the Murky with the Abathur, Tassadar, Leo, and I forgot what the 5th was, but essentially none of them are killable, right? Every one of them you can't kill on its own. It causes this very, you know, you can't ever trade into them very well. Well, think about Braxis and the importance on both of those lanes individually, right? Rexar demands a lot on his own. Abathur having a hat everywhere going between, and then Junkrat can just sit there and wave clear, hold its own, knock back off on top of it, and you have those other two dancing back and forth. It's not unbeatable, and it very much is like there are ways around it, but what it forces the opponents to do, it's without a doubt one of the hardest comps to learn to shot call against, because it asks you to understand every small victory and never bite off more than you can chew. Normally we ask teams, you know, how much can they get out of these situations? You have to take that and drop it back about 10, 20% and then be okay with that. And then just be like, that's fine. We're fine here. Keep playing it out. Because if you go 5 versus 5, you win. But if you play into the chaos, you feed into the chaos, which it was very well prepped from HeroesHearth Esports, it suddenly looks like that. And then you go, we can't win this game. Even when you saw them get kills, you go, how are they going to turn things around? They have to just go, here's one kill. Okay, here's a camp. Now pressure, here's a front wall. All right, what's the next goal? And just that back to back to back and get the recovery. But HeroesHearth Esports have the chaos composition paying out for them, and now they find themselves up 2-0 here over their opponent's node tomorrow. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have game number 3 here between these two teams.